Hey, everybody. I'm Hillary Atkin from the Atkin Report, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome Positive Impact Movement from America's Got Talent to this edition of Hillary's Happy Hour. How are you doing? Travis, James, Andreas, and Nathan. What's going on, you guys?
Oh man, we're just excited to be here and figure out what you want to talk about and just share what we can.
Well, your audition on AGT was really a showstopper. I'm not sure if you guys could hear this, but Heidi had said, I have a bad feeling about this. I don't know if you heard her say that, but it was on the show. And obviously you turned around her mind, and all the judges loved you guys right from the beginning of your act. So what was that like for you?
We're very happy to hear their reaction at the end. Like you said, that we managed to turn it around because in the beginning, as you said, like they weren't really too sold on like the whole set and like our wardrobe and everything. It was a pleasant surprise to hear what they had to say afterwards.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Really?
They don't look like weightlifters. I don't see muscles.
Well, they're wearing shirts.
Go to sleep when I got you next to me.
Standing on the dude's head.
Yeah, it was a little weird for me watching it back because those things that they whisper to each other and the little facial expressions that they zoom in on, I couldn't see that. So then watching it and seeing, I have a bad feeling about this, or I don't see any muscles. I was just, that. I didn't expect that we had a good reaction to that as we were watching. Oh man, we got dissed.
I'm glad you guys saw that after the fact, because even as a viewer, it's tough to watch. By the way, for the record, I love the outfits you came out in. And,
oh, thank you.
Yeah, I thought it looked great. I didn't think they were weird. I loved them. So all of you have suffered serious injuries, back injury, neck, knee. So tell us how you first met in LA's Muscle Beach as a result of your injuries. Were you, in training at the time? How did that all happen that you guys got together?
So we've met each other through the, okay, go ahead, Travis, you got it.
Oh, no, James, you're good.
All right, so we've met over the years. Travis has been going down to Original Muscle Beach for 10 years. I've been going down close to 6 at this point. Andreas is at 3 years. And Nathan is at October of 2020. So we all met at different stages. We've kind of like slowly kind of like picked up this crew, became friends, really started to develop something special. During quarantine when we were all locked down and really had like no other opportunity to do anything that we like kind of like truly loved, like where we get to perform, travel, and teach. We came together during this time and we got to really like explore each other's strengths, develop a really strong connection and bond with each other, become brothers in the process rather than just friends. And what was like the culmination of around how many months? 7 months of training is what you saw on stage at America's Got Talent.
Well, you say your goal is to spread positive energy through movement, but tell us more about that process. How does that work?
One of the ways that we can make a positive impact in movement is just by performing and inspiring people through the performances that we do. And then we also want to take it a step further. Hopefully that motivates that person to actually want to move. And so we can obviously, hopefully teach a workshop where we can work with them either online or in person, and we can take their movement practice a further step so that we can all find deeper movement and deeper purpose in our lives.
I understand that you guys all have backgrounds in acrobatics and gymnastics, and even that Cirque du Soleil was in the cards for one of you before the pandemic hit. So let's hear about all of your experiences.
Who wants to start?
You were in it first.
I'll take it first. All right, so I actually didn't grow up being an acrobat. I used to be a competitive MMA fighter from the time I was 15 until 22 years old. I ended my career in a neck brace, unable to get hit or anything anymore. I actually started doing acrobatics when I was around 24 years old. I'm 30 right now. So I've only learned this in the past like 6 years. I got hired by Cirque du Soleil 3 years into my performance career and went there and performed as a hand-to-hand specialist in a show called Crystal. And that's my background.
And then I've been doing gymnastics since I was 3 years old. I started performing when I was 8. And I really remember the feeling that I had when I was 8 years old. I was in the wings and I was staring out, watching all the professionals doing what they did, masters of their craft, just doing what they loved on stage, inspiring the people in the audience. But mainly for me, like that inspired me and gave me a purpose with what I want to do. And I realize now that with what we're doing down at the beach or on stage or anywhere that we go, we now have the ability to give the other 8-year-olds, the other kids, that same inspiration, that same spark that lit the fire for me to go through with this acrobatic and performance career. So I think it's really special that we can spread that. But then after I was 8, I kept doing gymnastics. I did 5 years of collegiate gymnastics for the University of Washington. And then as soon as I finished up with that, I went and signed on to a creation at Cirque du Soleil. It was called Under the Same Sky. And we were going to just be the new big top show. We're going to tour the world. And then 6 weeks before the world premiere, we all got sent home due to COVID. So I never actually got to take the stage. But it turns out it worked out because I met these guys. I found a bigger stage on America's Got Talent. And now we're here.
Yeah. And I was also a gymnast. I did gymnastics for 8 years. And unfortunately, I tore my ACL on my last year before going to college. I was planning on going to college with it. That put an end to my gymnastics career. And then after that, I started venturing off into some other sports because I was told that I could never do gymnastics again. And after a few years, I moved out here to LA, met these guys, kind of fell into the whole acrobatic game again and took all this up again and realized that, you know, my body was stronger than ever before and I could do this stuff again, even though the doctors would tell us like, no, you know. So then I started training for Ninja Warrior. Travis was training me to compete on that show. He's been there for many years. So I had like the best coach, but similar to Nathan's situation, right before, literally the night before we were going to film, COVID hit, it canceled everything. I got canceled on that show, but hopefully it was a blessing in disguise because had I been on that show, unfortunately, I would not be able to do America's Got Talent this year. But, you know, so everything kind of happened for a reason. And now, like Nathan said, bigger and better stage, more opportunities.
Yeah, COVID was a big surprise for me as well. After doing a Ninja Warrior over a combination of 8 years or so, I had the opportunity to help start and be a supporting role in a Wolfpack Ninja Tour, where we were going to go out and create a ninja tour, which was going to different cities across America. And being a big supporting in that role, I wanted to eventually start my own tour, which would have helped bring Muscle Beach to the rest of the world. And I was about to sign a contract for an international tour, and was doing that in March of 2020 when COVID struck. And so that whole thing was shut down and was so devastated. But again, it was a silver lining because it introduced me to these three guys that were all also on pause. You know, we're also on hurry up and wait mentality. So it allowed us to all be in the same place at the same time, and it was a real blessing to get a phone call or to have the opportunity to be on America's Got Talent, because that is literally the world's biggest stage. And I think really the universe wanted us to be on that stage. And so here we are.
And what are all of you doing to prepare for your next experience? And what are your hopes for the rest of the season?
I mean, right now we're just waiting to see what happens. But part of the reason that our group was able to have such a good audition is we're always ready, we're always training, we're always prepared. So even before we got accepted to audition on America's Got Talent, we were already training, we were already ready. Because if you're ready for the opportunities, the second they present themselves, you can attack it. So after this audition, we just want to be ready in case we can move on, in case anything happens, we just want to be ready. So we're training.
Yeah, we're training hard, training for the next few steps as if we were to make it through. Like Nathan said, we'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. And so we're heading back to Vegas next week, all of us as a team again, to start hitting it hard with the 6-hour training days, 2-day sessions, and training boot camp is what we call it, right?
We just love coming up with new acrobatic creative things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do for fun anyways. So
Yeah.
Well, all of you guys have inspired me to train even harder and maybe, get rid of that pandemic. I think it was only 5 for me. So I guess I'm lucky. But we're wrapping up our happy hour. I wanted to propose a toast to you, Travis, James, Andreas, and Nathan, and your continued success on AGT.
We appreciate you so much. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
The teapot.
Cheers. Thank you for being with me.